was the real reason why Thanos easily destroyed the Hulk in hand-to-hand combat at the beginning of Infinity War. The March giveaway is this 24-inch theatrical scale Captain America shield. To enter a simple 1, like the video. 2, subscribe and hit the bell notification. 3, leave a comment below if you believe that Thanos and Hulk will have a round 2 in Endgame. Most interesting about the Hulk's appearance, albeit brief, in Infinity War was the fact that he was defeated at the beginning of the movie at the hands of the Mad Titan, especially since in every other movie incarnation we've seen him with the Avengers, he has been the hidden draw card. Enough! Hulk has shown himself to be an insanely powerful fighter in the MCU, and that can't be contested. The only person that's bested him thus far has been Tony Stark in his Hulkbuster armor.
I'm sorry.
Arguably, the Hulk at a disadvantaged state as he was under Scarlet Witch's spell, and Thor, during Ragnarok, nearly beaten to death by the Hulk, had to summon a Hail Mary lightning bolt to incapacitate him, both of whom were initially defeated by Thanos themselves. Alright, stop! So fans assumed that the only way that Thanos would beat the Hulk was because he had already obtained the coveted Power Stone to match his strength in a fight and throw the Hulk off balance. However, this was actually disproved by the directors of Infinity War directly. The Russo brothers, in an interview with Collider, said this.
Was Thanos only able to beat Hulk because he had the Power Stone, or is he just that powerful?
I would say that he's just that powerful. I mean, you didn't see him actively use the Power Stone in the fight. Hulk is obviously very powerful, but he's a little mindless in his fighting style. It's aggressive, it's pummeling. Thanos is the Genghis Khan of the universe. He's a very skilled fighter, equally as strong. So when you put those two up against each other, the more skilled fighter is going to win ultimately, which is why Hulk has a moment where he overpowers Thanos, but ultimately Thanos is smarter.
All that for a drop of blood. Which makes sense. Thanos has been slated to mirror Tony Stark in more ways than one, especially in the realm of intelligence and ambition. So with enough time, he can pretty much beat anyone. Just as Tony adjusted to Captain America's pummeling.
Countermeasures ready.
Let's kick his ass.
So did Thanos.
Let him have his fun.
You can see how he picks apart the Hulk's brawler style after he was caught off guard initially, and makes quick, efficient strikes, confusing, battering, and ultimately incapacitating him. Now the second question that really had fans confused, which was said to be largely due to time constraints, was why the Hulk didn't appear later in the movie. Come on. Most people assumed, myself included, he was afraid after being served royally by Thanos.
What do you mean?
However, the Russos again had addressed this question directly, stating, people speculate whether there was some fear in the Hulk's part about having to face Thanos again, but I think ultimately what it is that he's tired of playing hero to Bruce Banner. Russo said, "This was an interesting journey that we went on with Banner, trying to decide how to move him forward in the Marvel Universe. What makes him unique as a character is that there's a host body that's being fought over by two distinct personalities who hate each other. Both want control of the host body. We thought an interesting direction to take him in is, well, what if Banner, who typically uses the Hulk to solve crisis situations, what if the Hulk actually was no longer interested in solving those problems for Banner? So the relationship is becoming increasingly dysfunctional, and that's what's going on here."
No Banner, only Hulk.
pretty evident with the concept art for the Hulk in Endgame that the reason they pushed the fracture in the relationship further was to set up the Professor Hulk persona, which in the comics is a unison between the two where you have Banner's intelligence mixed with Hulk's strength. So what we've seen is a plot device where he will ultimately become far more deadly than his previous incarnations. We may actually see a hand-to-hand round 2 of Bruce Banner in control of the Hulk's body. But as for the question of will that affect the Hulk's power negatively, seeing as the Hulk's strength is only limited or capped by his rage, so in theory it is without limit, I think Bruce himself has a well of untapped rage.
Now might be a really good time for you to get angry.
That's my secret, Cat. I'm always angry.